let's kick right in here at 6:30, and we are going to have a Greg Howe interview. Oh. So let me just say, first of all, I am really, really happy with this summit. It was definitely out of my comfort zone. It was the first summit I've done. I will be doing them every quarter. And whether it's a full-on summit, a long summit like this, it might not be. It might only be a 5-day thing. But I've really enjoyed getting to meet and understand the speakers. And every one of them has brought something to the table for me as well as for you. And even if they hadn't given me something directly that I could apply to my business, I'm extremely happy with having met them. Now, it's sounding corny, but when you meet somebody who has found success, you find the bits and pieces in you that line up with it. And there are days when you go, I don't feel it. And you can go back to that that part of you that remembers what Amy Acino said, that remembers what Ryan O'Donnell said, and Tanya Jones, and you go, I resonate with that. That's a successful person, and I get that. Let me hang on that for a little bit. And you can get through a tough section. Not a single one of these speakers has said, I made it, I'm done. Not a single speaker has said, I got here and it is just rosy. Check this all out. Not one of them. Every one of them works hard. They continue to do what works, and they continue to make changes. For me, that's been a huge, huge takeaway from this summit, is that there is no I've made it. There is no I've done enough. I've impacted enough people. I'm done helping people. I'm good right where I am, thanks. Not a single person said that. And in fact, several of them said, there's a new set of challenges. It's, when you're first starting out, it's how do I do this? Then once you figure out how to do it, it's how do I do more of this? Then when it's, it's just different levels of things. Barry ended up finding out he had to go to court against different companies, and that was never part of his plan. And he was winning. He was succeeding at that. So, Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, thanks, Greg. As you can tell, I get punchy. I love humor. I love life. Been through stuff, and hasn't exactly been the easiest at times, but whatever. We're on this big blue marble together. And what I do right now is I've been a software developer for 33 years professionally. Began programming on my own when I was 13 years old on a Texas Instrument 99 4A little thing. I plugged it into a black and white TV that I bought them both with my own money. And they had these plug-in cartridges that I thought were cool. Typical sort of almost Atari stuff, but it was really just before all that fun. Wasn't all that fun. And then I learned how to program. I was like, I want to do something different with this. I want to build my own thing. And so I bought a book, copied it line by line right into the computer, and started building software. And it's been that way ever since. It's been something that's come easy to me, something that I've really enjoyed. And sometimes it's for my own enjoyment of seeing something happen, and many times it's coming up with an idea. Someone has an idea and they don't know how to make the technology happen, and that's where I'm like, ooh, give it to me. So my company right now is called Gimme Info, and it's really an umbrella. You're going to see more coming out about it. It's a new company. Gimme Info is the overarching thing. And what I'm doing is helping people just like you understand the data they have, make a plan for the data, make a plan. Like, I basically take what these folks have been saying in the last 2 weeks and work with them to I work with you to organize your data in order to make that process that you're talking about doing really streamlined. Like tripling your revenue in less than a year, to shortening your time to market, to you name it. Or I fully believe that organizing your data, because I've seen it over 30 years, the most change I've seen is when you make a good plan, you organize your data, and let the data move through automations. I don't mean automate your entire business and make us all robots. I just mean moving data is something that you don't realize how much time you actually waste on, and how many mistakes, oh my goodness, the mistakes that are made when you're moving data. When you give it to somebody else and say, hey, can you move this stuff from here to here? Hey, every night, can you count up how many sales Janie had and put it in a spreadsheet? She said she had 17, I put 71. I mean, it's ridiculous, some of the things that happen all the time, every single day. And so my job, I want to make things accurate and streamlined, and so you don't have to do things manually. Small things that the system, your machines, that you can trust the machine to do it right. And there's a lot of opportunity there, because that frees your, again, going back to the brain cycle, I'm big on that. When your brain is cruising, it's not a good thing. You need neutral time. Let the brain literally like cool down, and the ideas that have been just waiting behind your eyes suddenly go boom, and it's like, oh, I can do this. Oh, there's my solution for that. Oh, I left the toaster on. So that is what I am about. So what do I think about hustle and anti-hustle and all that stuff? Well, my story has always been as an optimist. I believe that we're made. I believe that God makes us, and I believe that we're made with skills, and we're to use those skills. Whether or not you believe in God or you believe in whatever, that's irrelevant. But my belief is that all of us are worthy, and all of us have purpose, and all of us are meant to work our unique skills together as a whole. So when I see someone like Barry talking about things that I connect with, I want to do better in those areas, but I don't want to be Barry. And I don't want Barry to be me, right? I don't want you to be me, and I don't want to be you. I want you to be you, and I just want to help you maximize what you can do. Because I know that technology gets in the way. Technology, software, data, it goes beyond an annoyance to people. I hear a lot of complaints, but what's interesting is most people have stopped feeling like it's a complaint. You get it is what it is, right? You get people, oh, I gotta move this thing, I got 18 different spreadsheets. It is what it is. And I'm like, no. I believe that the software industry, which has been amazing, is actually getting further away from the everyday business person or the high-end entrepreneur who's really good at something non-technical. I can't tell you the dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs like you who over the last 18 months or so I've just run into in their own lives. And they have these amazing stories and amazing abilities and things they're trying to accomplish and the impact they're trying to make in the world. And I hear them complain about, oh, dude, you got to get away from Kajabi. Oh, ClickFunnels. Okay. When people start complaining about software, something's wrong to me because I'm in that field. So my goal with Gimme Info, now this is going to sound kind of different than maybe what you thought I do. How can I explain it? Gimme Info, I want to use, my big reaching goal is to change the way software is built so that people like you can do what you do best. And when you come up with an idea, you're not trying to pigeonhole your idea into software that already exists, because you don't have a choice right now. Right now, if you want to build something cool, you either have to hire it out and hope to God the person you're talking to can understand your idea and not come back to you with a whole bunch of acronyms, and can build the thing you want, and it won't take a year, and it won't overrun on costs. It's a very daunting process. I want to make it so that instead of the developers and software being in control, that the business person is now in control. I want to make it so that software developers, it's not some nefarious scheme. Software developers are building things to try to make things better. They just think huge, complex systems. They don't think small. Quick side story, I was working for a bank, so my head was banking. We were building the intranet, which was a new thing at that point in time, and we were all excited because we knew the value it would have for the everyday people, the vice presidents, the people working with customers and all that. And so we were tucked in a back room in this data center and building stuff, building cool stuff. And someone asked me if I could connect to what's called Active Directory. It's basically the phone book, right, for a computer system, and get people's current phone numbers and locations. And I'm like, well, I could, but we don't store that information. I said, well, what do you need? And they said, oh, well, what we want to have is a way to look up people's information, because what they were doing at the time, now we had branches across the state of Maine. We probably had 13 different locations at that point, plus a couple of admin locations spread around. And the conference rooms would have a printout about this thick. Not a lie, I mean, it was that thick. It was everybody in the company. It was alphabetical and also by department. So it was kind of like two different phone books. And you could go look up somebody, because in a conference you might be like, oh, Greg would know the answer to this. Hang on. Even before cell phones were really like a thing, right? I mean, this was like, you go through the phone book, there he is. Okay, he's at extension 1234. So 1234. A woman, Janet, answers. Yeah, is Greg there? No, Greg's not at this extension. Well, do you know what extension he's at? I mean, they were asking a total stranger basically, do you know the extension of Greg Howe, who used to be at your extension? You ever have that with your phone number, your cell phone? I'm looking for Gary. Yeah, Gary's not at this number anymore. Well, do you know his new number? No, why would I know his new number? And so all I did was create a very small, literally a small application. It took me a day and a half to connect to the phone book in the internal system and get the screen up and prototype it for somebody. But like I said, there wasn't a lot of data because it's not where we were storing the data. They loved it so much, they told the IT department, store the data there. And so the IT department spent a month and just started filling in the data for every employee. Their phone number, their location, their manager, all kinds of things. So now I built this little widget. I was getting like phone calls and emails from senior people at this bank, like I had just cured them of cancer. And it hit me at that moment that that was what I was meant to do. Not that particular thing, but it's to see that software can be really helpful when you do something small. The big systems are great, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is there's a huge amount of impact in the small things. And there's not a lot of developers who think that way. So what I'm going to do is provide them with the tools so that they can build the small things. All the small things have similar characteristics and whatnot. I just want to make it so that they can build the small things. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So what I'm doing right now for you is I'm building data movement. I'm building KPI dashboards. I'm building I see the advantages to freeing up your mind. And I can use my data movement systems underneath it all. I hope that it starts a movement where people go, oh, I liked how you did that. How did you do that? And I go, that's easy. Here are the building blocks. Here are your Legos. Go ahead, pop it on there. Build your own. And that's what we'll do. So I am the reluctant marketer. I have a podcast that I haven't posted in probably 9 months. But it was because I was a tech guy and heading into marketing. And I don't like pushy salespeople. I don't like the bait and switch. I didn't like a lot of the marketing tactics that I was seeing. But that's because I didn't know you guys. I didn't know, I mean you guys meaning everybody who's in the summit and whatnot. I didn't get that there were real, honest, good people doing good work for all the right reasons, and they simply are having to market it. It's like, I've learned a lot. So Greg, what would you do? What are the, how do I want to word it? How can somebody who's listening to this take away something from what you're saying and apply it themselves? Because they're not developers. Exactly. So my thinking is that I focus on, this is what you're going to hear from me a lot, is it's do, delegate, automate, and delete. And that's the question that I was asking every speaker if you've been watching these things. It comes down to do something else. That's the whole get off the hamster wheel and just head in this direction, doing something you've never done before. You can do something. You can automate something. Do, automate, delegate, do, delegate, automate, delete. I don't know what order I want to put it in, but basically the idea is you do something, you delegate it to somebody else, so you figure out what you need to do and you do it yourself, or you delegate it to somebody, or you automate it. And to me, automation is simply delegation to a computer or a process that doesn't need human interaction that way. So it's do, delegate, automate, or delete. Don't do it at all. And I think we have to look at everything we do on a day-to-day basis, everything that we believe is important, everything that's making the hamster wheel go around. I got to get out of the hamster wheel because I have to do X. I think you need to look at every single X and say, do I even need to be doing it? That's the very first question. If it does have to be done, then should I be the one doing it? And if not, do I need to encumber a human with it, or should I give it to the computer who's not going to care? I love having people get VAs because they're extremely helpful. But don't just simply give a VA a task that a computer automation can do. The VA can actually do more for you. Once you've freed up and done some of the automation stuff, they can actually help you craft messages, take your business to the next level, contact people on your behalf. Don't saddle them with moving data around a spreadsheet or two. So anyway, that's really my whole thing. This whole talk is about do, delegate, automate, or delete. I truly, truly believe that is how you get off the hamster wheel. You do have to do what all the other speakers have said, talking about planning, setting your north. You have to know what you're doing when you hop off the hamster wheel. But at the moment you hop off and you're going to head in a direction, don't just run blindly. You might have heard the story about the person who wants to go, climb a mountain. They're here, they look at the mountain, they see the path on the mountain, and they go, I'm going to go from here to there. So they run straight towards the mountain. And there are paths that go around the sides of the mountain, but they don't want that because the mountain's right there. I'm going to go, I can see the path on the mountain, I'm going to get there. And they go through swamp, and they go through forest, and they go through danger, and they almost can't get there, and they're exhausted. And they realize that if they'd just taken the path around the outside, they would be at the base of the mountain and they could go up. I guess what I'm saying is you can't, if that person had taken a step back and looked at the mountain and said, hey, I can see where I want to go, and I see that there are these paths here. Do those lead me where I want to go? They can take a step back and look at it from a higher perspective and go, oh, look at that. Both of those paths end up where I want to be. If I keep going the way I'm going right now, I'm in a world of hurt. I will get through, but it's going to take me longer. It's going to cost me more. It's going to be more painful. So you have to have your plan, your goal of the mountaintop. And you have to be able to see a path that gets you there. But you also have to not be tied to that path, because when you finally get around this section before the mountain and you get to the base of the mountain and you look up, it might be that that path you saw was not the path you need to be on. There may be a path on the other side of the mountain that works better for you and takes you to the summit. You're always tweaking and adjusting. But the idea is, when you hop off the hamster wheel and you're seeing that mountain and you see your goal and you've set your true north and you've made a plan and you've done the mindset and you've done all the things that you've picked up from the various speakers, and you're like, I can do it all. I just ask you to just take a step back before you move forward and take a look at the actions you think you need to do and decide if you need to be the one doing them. Because you will go so much faster if you hand it off. Hand it to a person, hand it to automation, and only do those things that are critical that you do them. So that's really what I'm about. I'm about moving data around. I take a look at people's systems and I decide, hey, guys, I see you're looking up there at the mountain. Let me help you find this easier path. Let me help you clear some brush over here. Let me help, and I look at each thing individually. I think it's important that you, like I said, don't be Barry, don't be Amy, and you don't want them to be you. Get what they're telling you to find, what to look for, how to think. Find the ones that resonate with you and grab hold of that and say, teach me more. Tell me more, show me more. Help me get from here to there. I see what you're saying and I can get it. And so that's what this is all about. So I'm going to cut mine a little bit short just so I can make sure I have time to get in touch with John Rocco and give him the link, and we'll start up a brand new one for John. But I really honestly hope that this has been a really eye-opening summit for you. Please take advantage of the survey for my benefit. Take advantage for me so I can make the next one even better. I look forward to serving you guys down the line. Even if, like I said, if it's not me working with you personally, if I've helped provide a great speaker to you to put in front of you and you go, oh man, I'm so glad I got to hear about so-and-so. And then you took advantage of it and your business is succeeding and you're finding yourself off the hamster wheel. That would make me so incredibly happy. That's what this is all about. I want to clear the path for you, really. So anyway, thank you very much for your time and for sticking with it and feeding back. I've loved the feedback I've gotten so far. It's been very helpful. And I really wish you the best with all this. And I hope that you will, I hope you'll let me know if there's more that you would want to see, a different way you'd want to see it, or if you want more from such and such a person. And don't forget, if you haven't taken the VIP yet, the VIP option is there for you. It gives you lifetime access to all of the videos, the interviews, the freebies. I'm going to try to get all of these types of Q&As on there as well. And there's also, I put a bonus in there of a free one-on-one Gimme Blueprint session. And all that is me and you sitting down, talking things out. You tell me what your mountain looks like. We'll take a look at what you have for software, for processes, for automations you might already be trying. And I can lay out a general plan for you to help you get from A to B. And it is literally just a blueprint. It says, here are the action steps you can take now. You liked what Tanya Jones was saying? Okay, here's how you get, do this first, get in touch with her, have her help you with X, Y, and Z, do this after, do this. And so it's just a blueprint. It's a way to get you off the hamster wheel with confidence, because I've been there, I know what it's like, I know what you need for your data systems, and I can help you walk with confidence as you embark on this new journey. So I give away that as well to those with the VIP. Anyway, thanks again, and I will see you in a few minutes.